All right, you guys. Hey, guys.
Are you drinking from a perfume bottle? No, it's just a cup.
Fancy glass.
I recently came into a $20 bill on the street and decided I can afford to drink perfume now.
Wow. So, no, it's just you've got a mix, like a spoon to mix with sticking out of it. And I thought it looked kind of like the top.
That's because when I make a beverage, I never shake it, which is what you're supposed to do with the beverages I make.
I did want to drink perfume so bad when I was a kid.
It's not good.
I know you tried it.
No, it's not.
I didn't mean to. I just sprayed it directly into my face while my mouth was open.
I think my grandma's with like the thing that you would squeeze on the...
Oh, I always wanted those. Those look so cool.
Oh, no, it was terrible.
No, I didn't say they look delicious, Eddie. I said they look cool.
Cool. I hear that is delicious. Sorry. Just like begging strips.
Tragic.
Begging! Sorry.
All right, guys. We're not doing free ads for begging right now.
In 1996, Scholastic began publishing Animorphs. Over the next 6 years, Katherine Applegate and her husband, Michael Grant, under the pseudonym K.A. Applegate, produced 54 main series books, several spin-offs, and inspired a TV series, graphic novels, and a cult following. We can't tell you where we live. We can't even tell you our last names. But we can tell you our thoughts and feelings on this series, book by book. I'm Miranda.
I'm Eddie.
And I'm Chris.
And we are... the Anidorks. These may be kids' books, but we discuss dark themes and mature content. There may also be some explicit language. Listener discretion is advised.
Shall we get back to
so we
19?
Marco had just discovered that Cassie let Yeerked Karen live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he was like, we're going to have to fucking kill this child.
Right.
Yes.
But more than that, he was like, I agree with the Yeerk. We're going to have to kill that child.
Because the Yeerk was like saying to Cassie, she was sort of like, oh, what, you think there's a way we can like do this? And he's like, you know what? I think that Yeerk is right. I don't think there is a way we can do this.
Yeah. But also, who invited Marco?
That's true. But she was missing.
Marco. Who was missing?
Do you get to invite people to your search party?
Can't be missing if you know where you are.
That's true.
He just kind of forced his way in as an osprey?
Yeah.
I have a save the date for my search party.
Yeah, I'm
What was
like,
that?
is there like a... Can I put, like, it's like, okay, we're getting, a message that she wanted delivered if she ever went missing. Don't let Clara look for me.
Do you remember Dufresne Party of One?
Dufresne
search party of two. No, you can eat when you find the Dufresnes.
It's Bush. Yeah, it's Bush search party of two.
You can eat when you find the Dufresnes.
Chris, you got all the long summaries, so I did break them up.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my Anidorks glasses on here. All right.
Available now in our merch store.
Don't lie to the people.
I guess I could sell this pair.
Gamer girl bathwater Anidork reading glasses.
Chapter 17. Cassie and Marco have just managed to scare away the leopard that was about to kill Karen. Marco just told Karen that he actually agreed with Yeerk for once. There's no peace with parasites. Wow, that's so pithy. He had said, you don't turn them around, you bury them. You bury them. Marco demorphs as Karen accuses him of only talking about killing. She asks how humans and andalites are any better than Yeerks. Humans are predators, so they justify themselves acting like predators. Yeerks are parasites, so they justify their parasitic behavior. Your morality is real simple, Karen says. Anything humans do is okay. Anything Yeerks do is wrong.
Karen compares what they're doing to humans to what humans do to cows. Marco replies that Karen can't make that comparison. Sure I can, Karen says. Marco tells Cassie that they can't let Karen walk out of the woods alive. Cassie says that Karen is not just a Yeerk, but a little girl. Marco says that the little girl inside of her is gone. Cassie points out how this is a funny thing for Marco to say, given that someone quite close to him is also a controller who he hopes to save. And what about Jake's brother Tom? Is he gone as well?
Marco asks if Cassie wants to just give up then, hand over the Animorphs to the Yeerks. Cassie says that she doesn't know.
Cassie says, let me think.
Cassie says that she doesn't know, wondering to herself if she is really going to sell out her friends, the human race, to save a little girl and the Yeerk inside of her head. Marco tells Karen that she can either leave her host's head, sparing a little girl, or die along with her. Karen says that she will not make this easy for Marco.
Cassie says that there's one more person here who hasn't had a chance to speak yet. Karen, the little girl, the human host. As Marco protests, Cassie puts her own head to the little girl's ear so that the Yeerk inside will not be vulnerable to violence. If you're gonna stomp on this Yeerk, you'll have to stomp through my skull, Cassie says. Morpho Mork. Damn it, I want it. I want it so bad. Morpho marks back to Osprey, protecting himself from the Yeerk immediately exploiting Cassie's morphing powers to attack him. Cassie admits she hadn't even thought of that. You're a fool, Cassie, Marco says. Now it's not the little girl who may have to die, it's you.
Wow.
So this is a crazy chapter.
Wake me up!
Wake me up, is that? This is a crazy chapter. It gets a little wild there at the end where, like, Cassie wants to hear from Karen. Karen's Yeerk is like, you would never believe anything I said if I just said I was Karen. Like, you would be like, oh, yeah, that's just a Yeerk trying to plead with us. And Cassie's like, not if you're not in there, bitch. And she just shoves her ear to her head. It's, like, really, really crazy.
It is crazy.
How, like, not badass, but badassily delivered that shit is. She, like, acts like it's badass, but, like...
It's pretty badass.
It's just, like, she's not wrong. We're like, anything humans do is fine, and no one else matters. You know what I mean?
She's kind of wrong. She's a little bit wrong, because they're invading Earth.
Okay, so, like, let me rephrase. She's, like... she's right for the wrong reasons, and also in other cases just wrong. But what she's talking about here, where she's like, see, all you just want to kill people. You said there was human morality, but all these people just want to fucking kill me. What do you have to say about that, huh? Humans can do whatever they allow themselves to do.
So let me ask you this.
Okay.
If let's say Jesus was a good person.
Okay. I'm reaching, but
so say like people think of him as generally like a good guy. Let's say like he's like, if I die on the cross for everybody's sins, they're all going to burn in hell, which will cause more pain. And I think that's awesome. I still think Jesus is wrong. I just like
even if there's a good outcome,
suffering,
right?
Yeah.
Well, like that's what I'm saying. It's like she's doing she's making a commentary that is not inherently wrong, but she's arrived at it for the wrong reasons. Not even she is not seen though. I don't know where I'm going, dude. She has not actually seen human violence. She believes that she has, but she's like fucking wrong. She's convinced that the humans will kill the Yeerks. The humans don't know they're here. Like, where is she getting this from?
Yeah. I also just don't like... Karen is so good at ignoring that she's already behaved in a certain way that would necessitate like fighting back, or like she's like hitting someone and then saying, why would you hit me when they fight back? Like it's
really it's very you would hit a child, like
it's like she turned a little girl into a puppet, like a meat puppet for her, and she's like why would
that
you
was my job. That was my job.
Yeah.
It's really true.
Yeah.
But the end of this chapter is a little hard, because like I want to believe in what Cassie is selling here. I want to believe that there is a peace to be made, but Marco is like not wrong that sometimes you have to take a hard stance.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard.
I didn't think about how Cassie is putting, I mean, now if Cassie received Aftran, sorry, we're gonna get the Yeerk's name in the next chapter.
Yes.
If Cassie became a controller, and then that controller morphed Cassie into something dangerous that could kill Marco, he actually would have a lot of time to get away.
Yeah.
When I read this the first time, I hadn't really thought about the fact that Cassie is kind of putting Marco in a unsafe position by...
You know, it's funny, neither did she.
Right, exactly, yeah.
But I didn't even really take it that way either.
She should have.
She should have. But, like, I know Cassie's, like, the fastest morpher or whatever, but, like, did she really think the Yeerk was going to gain control and fully morph before Marco could get away? Like, but Marco had to morph back to an osprey. Like, he couldn't get away as a human. Like, he had to morph so that he was able to flee if necessary.
Yeah.
So, like...
And I guess it's just...
Yeah, she really didn't consider his safety in that. She considered her safety. She's like, what I'm doing is unsafe for me.
Yeah.
It might be more safe for Karen, or she could get eaten by a leopard while we're gone. And I didn't consider Marco at all.
Yeah. It's also... She's putting him in short-term and long-term danger because even if he escapes, his... everyone's...
Yeah. This
identity
now
is now
seen
compromised.
Them.
Like they're
Also, is there no middle ground where it's like you infest someone but you don't control them? Like couldn't Aftran just like hung out and like not taken over Cassie?
I think that would have been cool. I think it'd be cool if there was like a backseating Yeerk, like just giving you pointers but not moving your body for you.
I call them the negative voices.
Or should Cassie have tried to start receiving the Yeerk, and then as its butt is kind of wiggling into her head, she plucks it and pulls it out and then just stomps on it. Like she didn't even
That
try
is probably what she actually should have done. Like there is actually a case to make for this being a good move if they had interrupted the transfer process. But they don't really know much about the like we know that's possible because we saw that with Aldrea last book, but they don't know a whole ton about how long this takes and if there would be something you could pluck. So I don't blame her too much for that.
Earplugs? Or like a Batman and Robin thing, wax ears. Like if she had worn a wax ear and then after... remember?
If only.
That would have been pretty good.
I don't think they're very real, like looking. I don't think they really...
No, it'd be hard to hear through them too, but like...
What? It's like leaning in.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Shall we, do we want to find out what happens?
Yeah, let's find out.
Yeah, let's do it.
But the next chapter, wherever the next chapter ends, that's where the book ends for me. So,
yeah, no, this is it.
And I haven't even read this book.
I do want to point out Marco calls Karen Slug Girl, which is we just haven't had a good Marco moment in a while.
Yeah,
that was pretty
a little
good.
Rude though, but it's all right.
It's kind of rude.
Yeah.
So, chapter 18. Cassie loses control of her body to Karen's Yeerk, whose name Cassie learns is Aftran 942 of the Het Simplat pool. As Cassie learns of Aftran's memories and Aftran of hers, Karen, the little girl, begins to cry that she wants to go home. Don't we all, babe? Cassie learns that fighting in so many battles as a Hork-Bajir saddened Aftran. Aftran anticipated investing a human girl to be a safer, more peaceful assignment. That assignment? To spy on Karen's billionaire father, the CEO of Unibank. By then, Cassie had killed Aftran's brother, Astral 731, and everything had shifted for Aftran. Wasn't that like 3 days ago?
Yeah.
Cassie watches as Aftran learns all of her secrets about the truth of the Animorphs, not Andalite bandits after all, but just 5 human teenagers and an Andalite youth. About Cassie's feelings for Jake, about Marco being the son of Visser One. Aftran is struck by the compassion that Cassie feels for the termite queen that she killed in Book 9. Then, Aftran uses Cassie's morphing powers to morph into a bird. She spreads Cassie's wings and takes flight.
It just occurred to me, does this kind of make Marco a nepo baby? Like, if he becomes a Sub-Visser, is it kind of like, well, we all know why?
Well, that would have to do with, the Yeerk placed in his head, not so much him. But do you think Visser One would be like, only the finest Yeerk for my host's baby boy?
I think Marco would be such a good Sub-Visser, and I think he would really bring, these Animorphs uniforms he's been talking about. I think he would bring a lot to the Yeerks.
Yeah.
I feel like he would have one of those, like the shoulder pads that have the little tassels that hang from them. He'd have a cloak. I feel like,
what are those called? Epaulets.
Epaulets, yes. I think.
Is that what those are?
He'd have a wonderful little uniform.
No, it's really
he'd
true.
be the best
and
Sub-Visser
he'd
of all
finally
time.
get the uniform he deserves.
Yeah. And I think the Yeerks just have the budget that Marco's looking for.
That's true. Marco's sort of been a small gorilla or a big gorilla in a small pond. You know what I mean? Like he's been looking.
Pool, yeah.
He's been looking for, the opportunity to really get into marketing, to really get into recruitment.
Yeah.
And the Yeerks love recruitment. Like, that's what they're all about. So he's like, you're telling me you would put money into these ideas? And they're like, if you can make us look cool, hell yeah, we'll put money into the ideas. And he's like, all I think about is how to look cool.
Also, just imagine, like, Texans sewing, Like,
so
it's pretty
fast.
cute. Yeah, so fast. When the Yeerk goes in to Cassie's brain, she says this one thing, or it's like part of her narration where she's like, cauliflower contours of the gelatinous gray mass that was my brain. It's like such an at the drive-in lyric.
Can we hear it?
Oh my God.
Can we hear it?
The cauliflower contours of the gelatinous gray mass that was my brain.
Yeah. Dude,
Like,
this is
got
the
that,
heart of roulette disc, cauliflower contours. Like,
Exactly.
that's the Morph's fault. I apologize. But
The kiosk in my temporal lobe was shaped like Rosalind Carter.
But it is good. It's good. And that's while she's describing the fact that as she feels the Yeerk go in, she realizes that she's being, to her senses, paralyzed one bit at a time. But then she realizes she can feel all of them. She just can't move them. And now the Yeerk is controlling them. And that's horrifying in a lot of ways, in so many ways. And I don't want to think about it too much anymore.
No.
I want to think instead, okay, you can, if anybody wants to ruminate on that, they're welcome to.
Well, I had a thought about that. The 3 Animorphs we've heard from about being Yeerked. Now, Rachel just had a nightmare about being Yeerked, right?
True.
She still imagined it vividly. Are they being greedy in their description of what it's like to be Yeerked? Are they leaving nothing for the other Animorphs for when they're inevitably Yeerked? Like,
you think they should leave something to the imagination?
Yeah, what perspective are we going to get from when, like, maybe Tobias really enjoys it, I don't know, but there's not that many takes left.
The size of the head seems to be...
That's true, that's true. They don't really, it's like, it's just a game of one-upsmanship of who hated it most, you know what I mean?
I'm sure we said this before, but if the size of the head seems to be important, I argue the Yeerk... If the piss goes with, the Yeerk definitely goes with. They just get crushed.
Oh, that's
they get,
true.
Like little trash compacted.
That's true.
Yeah, but they're gummy guys. They kind of bend.
Gummy guys. Well, we've never seen Visser 3 morph anything small. So, I don't know. Maybe he only morphs things that are bigger. I don't know.
Now,
that there's no squishing of the head.
I think Jake's Yeerk morphed something small.
He morphed an owl. You're right.
Didn't he morph something to try to crawl away, like a bug?
I thought it was, you might be, what did he morph? I don't remember. We'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll look it up.
Anyway, a bird should have been small.
Yeerk's right in
but,
what happens when you morph something small.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Anyway.
I already wrote in.
I just want to pivot quickly, just briefly to what the plan was for Yeerking Karen. And I know I've talked about this a little bit before, but like, do you think it was like they were like, oh my God, he's going to be teaching her everything about the bank. It's going to be perfect. And then they were like, what do you mean she goes to kindergarten for 8 hours a day and all her care is overseen by a nanny? Like, what? She never sees this person.
Yes. Although maybe Karen was being groomed to inherit the company.
She's 6.
Yeah.
Maybe. But also, like, I don't know, maybe they were planning a kidnapping plot, and if she's Yeerked, she'll be more cooperative. But, like, it just seems... I don't know where they were planning on taking this one. Maybe just that she could be like, Daddy, what's in that cave over there? And then a Hork-Bajir could just take him out, and they could yank him off to be Yeerked himself. I don't know.
They could Yeerk him off to be yanked himself.
Is it possible that would it be helpful for us to think of it like whose plan was it? Is this a Visser 3 plan? is this a Visser One plan or is this a Visser Two plan? Who I think we said loves pranks and hijinks.
Yeah, maybe this is a Visser 2 plan because this seems a little hijinky.
It's kind of a reverse Gump, if you think about it. Yeah.
And Gump was
like,
whose idea? Is that a Visser 3 plan?
Well, I don't know. That's a good
plan
question.
that was.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who planned to.
This is why we need to be invited into these meetings so that we can.
Yeah.
We should be going to more sharing meetings.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But actually, this is a very, very disturbing chapter. But we learned a lot about Aftran's backstory. We learn about how, what did she go from a Ged to a Hork Bashir? She kind of burned out on being a Hork Bashir. She didn't like it. She's kind of a very unremarkable character. Like her story, her backstory, like I read it and I thought she seemed like she was probably.
So you're saying if you saw this description on a dating profile, you'd be like, I'm not really into the whole watched my brother get killed.
Yeah.
No, she basically has a picture of her holding a fish. Like that's what I got from this. But I think she's not remarkable in that the violence got to her. I kind of read this and thought maybe that's something that would kind of like soldiers, like human soldiers. I feel like she kind of burned out on what she was exposed to and forced to do. And it made me think this is probably a larger psychological effect on the Yeerks as well. Is that what you
Yeah, and she doesn't describe it as something that like Aftran felt shame about or anything like that, which to me would indicate that that's just sort of like, that would indicate to me that there were other people who felt this way, because if Aftran thought that they were the only one who felt this way, I feel like there'd be a lot of like shame in the sadness that had been taken on from killing.
Yeah.
But like feels like there's, maybe not in the text, but to me it felt like there was an implication of, you know, this is something that some Yeerks just do. It's like they're not cut out for it, and that's okay. Or like,
or maybe she grew up in a guilt Yeerk pool, you know, not a shame one. You know,
maybe guilt, not shame. That's a good point, because she does seem to feel guilt that her brother had stayed, you know, on as a Hork Bashir, and it sounds like she had tried to be like, make sure you take safe missions. Make sure you stay safe. You don't do anything too crazy.
Do you think Aftran was trying to get her brother into a sibling position in the billionaire's family?
I don't know if there was one, but I definitely think there was like, maybe she was hoping that they'd put her brother in the billionaire once they could yank him.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say
they'd be like a duo.
It does show that these are kids' books because like there definitely was an accountant position available. Her brother could have totally worked. So, like, accountants run the world.
Always need them,
Especially when Marco's Sub-Visser and he's really looking at that budget.
But what if he's not very good with numbers? You know, what if he's more of a poet? And they're not really into, like, war poetry.
And me reading between the lines, I did feel like that was there in the text.
He's trying to get his inspirational book of war poems off the ground, but no one will publish.
Mm-hmm. You mean like it's like a picture with like a taxon hanging by its two arms from a branch, and it says "hang in there."
But I think it's something more like a taxon hanging from a branch while eating something atop the branch that says "seize your fill" or something. I don't know, like claim.
Or what if it's like a Hork Bashir in the same situation? It just says "Hork" in there.
Aww. More merch ideas. We got the glasses. We have these posters.
Hork in there. Yeah.
Hork in there.
Chris, I did like your little note here about exposing of interior in these books is always interesting. And you called back to the Lirin book.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I forgot about that note. Yeah,
I always think it's interesting how when privacy and like you're saying interior thoughts, like what you share and what you don't share, especially because these are books about teenagers, mostly for teenagers and kids, and I feel like those things are really important and really developing, and it feels very important to these books. So.
Yeah. And I think the only other thing that really actually needs to be hit real quick is that Aftran sees the moment when Visser One sold out let the Andalite bandits, quote unquote, go free so that Visser 3 would look bad.
Or was it the other way around? It doesn't matter. Like, and Aftran's like, oh, this is all about politics and power. And the Vissers are too busy sniping at each other to get anything done.
That felt important.
Sound familiar?
That felt important,
Yeah,
just like getting that. I feel like we're going to see more of that and more of these like
Yeah.
internal politics to the Yeerks as we go along.
Yeah, I think that and the seeing her feel bad about killing an insect is like two of the big takeaways from like Aftran's reactions to what she sees in Cassie's memories.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Chapter 19?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay. It would be child's play, Cassie tells us, for the Yeerk to fly to the nearest gas station, demorph, and call his superiors. Then it would all be over. She imagines how it would happen. Probably Jake would be seized first by Tom, Rachel would be abducted on the way to the mall, then the others one by one. All, Cassie thinks, because she was unwilling to do a hard, brutal, necessary thing. She waits for Aftran to fly towards civilization, but Aftran doesn't.
Below them, men in state police uniforms search the forest. Aftran tells Cassie that they recognize some of them. Those are controllers looking for Aftran, expecting them to be in Karen. If they reach Karen, they'll learn what happened. Then Cassie spots the other Animorphs in the distance, all in bird morphs. Aftran immediately understands as well, and asks if they're coming to save Cassie, to kill Cassie. Cassie says that they'll hold Cassie in captivity until Aftran starves to death.
Unless Cassie and Aftran can make peace. One Yeerk and one human. It would require Aftran to return to the Yeerk pool, to hide among the Yeerks, to never see color again. Why, Cassie asks herself, so some little human girl with green eyes could be free? Aftran asks if Cassie understands what she is asking. If she were Aftran, what would she do? Cassie can't answer that because she's not Aftran.
You believe you would sacrifice anything to save Karen, Aftran says. That's what you believe. You believe if you were me, you would make the sacrifices. Aftran flies down towards Karen. As Cassie experiences Aftran's thoughts, she feels nothing but dread. So in this chapter, we get a pronoun for Aftran, and it's he. And that really surprised me, that just felt like a choice to make Aftran he, and also not how...
Oh, I didn't notice that.
For some reason, I imagined... I think because this is what the books have done for the most part, that the Yeerk who infests a person tends to share. I think there's been a pattern of like the pronoun matching. So I started using they for Aftran in this description because I was just like... I also was thinking, like, I think that would be how we would write the Yeerks now. Because gender feels like it's like a...
I don't feel it. When you have to have 3 people to make a baby, it doesn't feel like there's probably a lot of, like...
It's true.
when your society doesn't seem to have, like, a split between, like, nurturers and hunters or something like that, where you, like, have a clear divide of roles, even if it weren't
Dimorphism or whatever,
even if it weren't based on, like, any physical characteristic or anything like that, like, there's no... The Yeerks kind of just all seem to do what all the other Yeerks do. It doesn't seem like there's any, like...
Yeah. Though we did get... I think Durain was involved in a Yeerk love story, and they used he and she for the Yeerks in that.
It was they used he and she, but only because it would have been too scandalous to do otherwise.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it is pretty amusing because, like, it's like, so if they die as a part of having a litter, right? So, like...
Yes.
If, like, Durain and the other one, like, I don't know.
So their goal is not to make babies then,
no,
probably.
they're just getting freaky,
yeah.
right? Yeah, like,
they maybe don't even have, like, if their reproduction is like that's, like, some real love if you're willing to, like, fuck over the Visser for, like, true just emotional nourishment. You know, humans' thoughts are often clouded by, like... whatnot.
Hopes of fame and fortune.
Yeah.
Right.
And various licentious desires. It's disgusting.
I don't even know what that word means. But the point is, if they find her, they'll know that I've made Cassie my... So what she asserts at some point that she's like, if they find Karen un-Yeerked, they'll know that, like, I've Yeerked you. that Aftran will have Yeerked
Or
Cassie. And I'm like,
something, yeah.
There's so many options in between.
Yeah, Karen
Like-
might have sneezed and ejected the Yeerk from
and you just fell out, right? Exactly.
Yeah, well, but Karen could tell them what she saw. And that
What
might...
she saw? A she saw?
A she
Like
saw? Yeah.
Like a seesaw? But a
she
seesaw?
might be like,
She saw seesaws by
I
the
saw this
seashore.
girl who morphed into animals, and then my earworm
Yeah.
went in her.
And it's a good point. There's absolutely nothing good that comes from the Yeerks reaching Karen.
That's true.
Also, she'll probably say the little bug thing the slug crawled out of my ear and went into someone
And
else's.
into someone, and then
Come
they
on,
turned
Karen,
into a
get
bird.
it together.
I
Yeah,
mean, Karen,
come on.
not to spoil the ending of this book, but Karen does get it together in spades. It's actually a whole thing at the, like, Karen,
That you're not wrong.
she's
she's,
on board,
you
but
know-
she should just be a new
Yeah.
Animorph, honestly.
I don't disagree. When she's older, she's got to have time to train.
Yeah. She's small enough that you could toss her up into the air and she would morph.
Oh my God! You
flying.
could
That's
do
true,
the
Tobias,
fastball
too, though.
special with Hulk and Wolverine.
Yeah.
But
not as much
so there's
fun.
a moment where Cassie talks about, like, they're like, oh, if your friends find you, Aftran's like, if your friends find you, what will they do? Will they kill you? Will they save you? And Cassie's like, they'll just tie me up somewhere until you die of Kandrona starvation. And Aftran's like, my God, you know about Kandronas. I hadn't had time to flick to that page in your memories yet, more or less is what they say. So I'm like, okay. So there's an immediate understanding that happens when the bonding occurs. But there is like,
Transference.
there's
if
like
you
a
will.
time, like they can't go over everything instantly.
Okay. But let's think about that with Aldrea in Hork-Bashir
Yeah.
Chronicles. She gets Yeerked for like 1 second and she's able to write a book with an entire character perspective from that brief Yeerking.
But that's from the Yeerked. That's from the Yeerkies' perspective.
Ah.
From the Yeerkers' perspective, also known as the Yeerk.
The one who Yeerks.
Yeah.
Yes.
That might be like, that transference may not be immediate. Like they may have
like
to,
that
because they're
theory.
also learning to control the body and they're learning to everything. Whereas the host brain has been like completely subjugated. So they may just get to like suck up everything.
I like that because it's a higher cost for the Yeerk has to consider that when they're Yeerk. Like, it's going to take me longer to obtain everything than it will for them to obtain everything. Like, I like that as a balance. Not a balancing, but
Yeah,
like,
I think
I don't
usually
know.
it probably doesn't matter because usually you Yeerk someone and then they're like, go sit in a
You
corner
Yeerk
and
for
read your
life.
host's brain.
yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are about to tell me I'm remembering this wrong, but I really
Oh,
don't
you're
remember it
remembering
being
this
like
wrong.
this pronounced. I don't remember it being this pronounced a two-way street in book 6.
No.
I don't recall
remember-
that, no.
Yeah,
No. Where was
Like,
that
I
backstory?
remember him. Yeah, exactly. Like it was, he would like Jake had nothing on that guy
No.
until he was dying, and essentially just like spitting out
fugue.
visions or whatever.
No
Yeah,
mention
they
of the
really,
fugue.
back then, no, the fugue. Back then, they really made it seem like it was like he got bits and pieces of feel. It's like when the Yeerk was thinking about things, he could see those things and know what the Yeerk was feeling about it, but he didn't get like backstory
No.
or like anything like that. It was like, oh, I know what you're feeling on a one-to-one basis now that we're combined, but only going forward
Yeah.
felt like the thing.
Do you think it's possible that Jake's Yeerk was... Well, one, was he some kind of blank slate Yeerk? Or was he just like freshly born? And this was like the first... He woke up and he...
I think he might have been
Maybe.
a high-level operator.
No, he was
Well, no,
Tom's
but
Yeerk.
he was just. Oh yeah,
he was
it was
a
Tom's
high-level
Yeerk.
operator.
Yeah.
Like he was running the show. So I think in
What
a way,
was he
like,
doing
it's-
in that hot tub?
he was
In that
relaxing.
therapy tub?
Jesus
like,
Christ! You're
well,
so
I guess they
discerning.
put him in there because they were planning
Yeah,
to
he's
put
just
him in.
kicking his feet up.
They were planning to put him in the presidential candidate or whatever. It was
Right.
like their plan, and he
Right.
was getting surgery there.
Why?
But, like,
Why did he swim into Jake's ear? Don't they know who's coming?
because they were cooking them.
Why do fools fall in love?
Ah, you're
Because they
right.
were-
You know.
Yeah.
Because they were, it's like, I think that was genuinely a, like, one of us has to get out of here. I'm the highest ranking. If there were other Yeerks in there, and he was like, fuck all you.
Yeah.
I'm getting in that ear.
Yeah. Listener, you're probably noticing that just like this book took an opportunity to revisit previous books, we are also deliberately revisiting earlier books.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I have 2 Yeerks in my ears.
Oh, do 2 Yeerks ever try to enter the same? No, they can't. Usually they dip one.
That's you got to subscribe to the Patreon for that.
Yeah, to talk about that. That's a special tier.
2 Yeerks,
Shall
one.
we,
I don't know.
Oh my god.
No,
oh
no.
My god.
I was trying to make a Yeerkle Tower joke or something, but yours is worse.
They're two
Yeerk's
tapes in the
tower.
same series, I think.
All right, chapter 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Aftran flies Cassie's osprey morph over the head of the controllers searching for Karen. They use thought speak to direct the controllers towards the Animorphs, though they refer to the group as Andalite bandits. Aftran lied to their fellow Yeerks, though Cassie, not yet sure why. Wild sentence construction there. Though Cassie is not yet sure why. It's still weird, actually. It's not yet sure why is really fun to say. You should
I don't know.
say
That
it
feels
8
normal
times.
to me.
No, but say it fast. Not yet sure why.
Not yet sure why. It is kind of like the faster you
Not
say
yet
it, the
sure
more
why.
nonsense it becomes. Yeah.
Aftran lands the good ship Cassie near Karen and demorphs. Karen tries to flee, but she's injured. It's no use.
Aftran grabs Karen and forces the little girl's ear against Cassie's ear. Just as Cassie regains control of her own body, she forces Karen away, but it's too late. She sees the last of Aftran crawl inside Karen's ear. Cassie realizes Karen is crying. But they're not Karen's tears. They're Aftran's. You tell me what you think I should do, Karen said harshly, despite the tears. Andalites, humans, there's no difference. You're both smug, moralizing, superior races. You both live in beautiful worlds. You have hands and eyes and the freedom to move about wherever you like, and you hate us for wanting all those same things.
Karen lifts up a caterpillar from the grass. That's all she is, Karen says. What this creature experiences is all that she herself experiences without a host body. She says that Cassie is asking her to give up everything, while Cassie continues on with her own life. What will Cassie give up if Karen is to give up everything? Karen holds up the caterpillar to Cassie. She asks Cassie to absorb its DNA and then stay and morph past the 2-hour time limit, trapping Cassie in that form forever. Cassie asks how she can be sure that Karen won't just trap her in that form without following through on her side of the deal. Karen points out that there would be no point. If she wanted to screw Cassie over, Cassie would be far more valuable in her morph-capable form.
Cassie narrates. I looked down at the caterpillar, squirming in my trembling hand. I raised my eyes and looked around at the world, the trees, the grass, the sky, the flowers. I had cared about nature all my life, and still I had not understood how magnificent it was until that moment. To lose my parents, my friends, the entire world. To save my parents, my friends, maybe even the entire world. I closed my eyes and began to focus, and the DNA of the caterpillar entered my blood. So metal.
This is so hardcore. I want to
So
say, so at the
metal.
end there, we get a bit of a reinforcement of the size of the head matters, because Cassie's like, what if I morph caterpillar and you just take off? And Karen's like, oh, well, Aftran is like, oh, well, it would be much more useful to just keep you as a Yeerk toast. But at no point is it ever like, you could Yeerk me as the caterpillar. Like, that's not something anybody is concerned about. So, like, caterpillar.
Well, we know this.
Definitely,
we know the size of the head.
Yeah, definitely too small.
You're
to
saying
Yeerk.
the caterpillar is known too small, confirmed too
It's
small.
now confirmed too small. We can surmise,
And yet,
that Cassie, once a caterpillar, is not at risk of Karen Yeerking her.
is it a bad idea for one of the ghost-written books to mostly focus on a Yeerk trying to Yeerk a caterpillar? Could that be a good...
Well, all right. I was going to propose a Yeerk and their caterpillar friend, but yours is a little bit more aggressive and weird.
I was going to go with just
that.
a study being done on the Yeerk ship that's in orbit of like how small they can morph without getting squished.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think that'd be really fun, even as like side material. Just like, in games when you get like files from experiments that are being done, like Resident Evil and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I would love to see the files of like attempted to infest, Felis domesticus or whatever the house cat is.
Experiment 94, like something like that.
Yeah. It's like host survival, Yeerk squish.
Yes. So something makes me, there's a number of things that make me angry in this chapter, but I think Cassie is meeting Aftran on a level that Aftran has not earned. I don't think Aftran earns it with this compromise. It's not a compromise.
It's not a compromise.
Because Aftran is just returning back to the form that she's entered this world as. She's always been a Yeerk at heart.
Yeah.
And she's
Aftran is just going to stop Yeerking humans.
Yes.
And just Aftran. It's not even like I'm going to like try to raise a rebellion or something.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, I'm just going to go be a good little girl.
And yet she's asking Cassie to just give up everything and become a caterpillar and lose. Like, Aftran presumably has some amount of life that she could return to in the Yeerk pool. She knows what to do there. She's familiar with how to be a Yeerk in a Yeerk pool. Whereas Cassie's becoming a caterpillar and will probably get eaten by a bird tomorrow. Like, it's such an unfair...
And as much as she claims, like, I'm going back to nothing because I can't see or hear or any of those things, like... It's like, you're like, oh, we had a whole language that we had in the Yeerk pool that we did through, like, frequencies and touch and all these things. Like, you were decidedly more advanced socially than a caterpillar.
Yeah, and it straight up doesn't. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and we have no idea what the Yeerk lifespan is. You could be going back for hundreds of years of living with friends in a Yeerk pool.
Right.
And it's just,
it could be like a cute retirement community.
Yeah,
it
it's
could be
like
a whole second life.
I'm very sad you can't see colors anymore, but like that's a little different than like dooming Cassie to the life of a species that's going to die in like a month.
Yeah.
And not only that, she like swoops in and is like if I turned you in, I get this, I get that, and she just like kind of like loses the thread on her own trade. Like it's like, you think that not getting promoted is somehow equated to me giving up my entire life. Right?
Yeah. Well, I guess also that's also a bit of a threat there where it's like, well, if you don't do what I want you to do, like what does the future look like?
Yeah.
A, I'm giving those things up, but B, if you don't do this, you're gonna let those things happen.
Yeah.
Did you guys laugh when, like, she picked up the caterpillar and called it a slug? Did you, like, imagine Cassie with her, actually, just like, actually, that's a caterpillar?
This is another moment of Aftran earlier mistook a gorilla for Curious George. This is just another one of those moments.
Yeah, another...
This is a much less lethal... Yeah. Well, I guess it's lethal for
I will
Cassie,
say, though, my kindergarten class had caterpillars that we, like, made a box for that turned into butterflies that we released at graduation or whatever. Like, it was like... Little kids usually know, at least in the 90s, we were being taught the ways of the caterpillar.
Yes.
Like, hungry or otherwise.
Yeah. Listeners who have previously Yeerked me might remember Mrs. Copenhagen, my 5th grade teacher, where we had the kind of... That's part of the Patreon deal, is that they get to Yeerk me briefly.
Yeah.
Very briefly.
They get to Yeerk you just to relive some of your highlight reel.
Yeah.
Like when you pet that bear cub.
Oh, he's so cute.
I did pet that bear cub. Chris, you must have Yeerked me.
I was at the top tier. You were doing that at your birthday last year. It was very weird.
Miranda, earlier when we were talking about this book, you mentioned that there's moments where Aftran seems to almost become, like, because she's in Karen, like this little girl, she sort of takes on Karen's not persona, but she articulates herself sort of like a little girl would. Like, it's almost like there's some personality crossover. And I wonder if this is just Aftran as Karen having a temper tantrum. That's kind of what this whole deal feels like, is sort of a temper tantrum. And I don't think that's what the book's going for, but that it just occurred to me that that's basically like Aftran.
That's a fun thought.
It is. No, as soon as she gets into Karen's body, Karen starts crying. Like,
Right.
Karen is now moving into the body of someone who cannot control their emotions very well.
Or Aftran is moving into.
Oh, yeah. Aftran
body,
is moving into the body of someone who cannot control their emotions very well here by going back into Karen. And Karen's
But she was already seemingly crying when she had infested Cassie, right? Like she was
Karen
having
was,
these big
yeah.
emotions. Yeah, no, Aftran.
Aftran?
When Aftran infested Cassie, there are these like scenes where it's like, oh, like Aftran actually laughs at some point when they're having some back and forth about something.
So you think Aftran was already crying, is what you're saying?
I think Aftran is already
I think
emoting.
Aftran was upset. But we saw as soon as Aftran left Karen started bawling. And I think if you go into the body of a person who has like no emotional regulation and like you're getting all the feedback of someone whose body is telling them they're in like a life or death situation, as opposed to Cassie, who managed to like stay really calm. Because one of the things Aftran complains about is how like emotional and like
you're right.
easily
Yeah, that's true.
like bothered little kids are. And I'm like, shouldn't you be in full control of that? I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems a little weird because you seemed like you were in full control of Cassie, but maybe something about the way kids behave is like special. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so like if Aftran was sad and then the moment they got into Karen's body, they were like, actually, I demand life for a life. Like I demand I will have my pound of flesh, good sir. Like
I imagine it's not that extreme, but I'll agree to disagree.
I don't. I'm not saying I necessarily think that's what happens here. I just think it's interesting to.
You're right.
It's interesting to think
I should
about.
be yes-anding you. I'm sorry.
No, I just think it's interesting. I'm like, I don't know that that's what happened, but I think it's interesting to think about whether or not the emotional regulation.
Really strongly about this.
Chris, when we renewed your contract as our co-host, you said you would only agree with us in conversation.
I said, I believe I signed on for 30% more yes-anding and agreement per episode.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and you're
from
absolutely
20%
right. Eddie,
last
I did
season,
sign that up from 20% last season.
Now,
yes.
is that
Well,
additive or multiplicative?
The fans gave back feedback, which is like, I could be more agreeable.
Yeah.
Right.
And I agree with that.
Thank you.
Chapter 21. Cassie wants to argue with Karen, to morph into a wolf and just kill her. God, wouldn't it be great to just fucking kill her? Sorry, she would save her friends. She would save herself. But it wouldn't save the little girl Karen. It would just be more of the same violence.
It would be the opposite of saving her.
There would be just another innocent victim. Cassie morphs into the caterpillar. The caterpillar mind has something urgent that it wants to do.
Oh, is my stove on?
Cassie could fight that urge, morph back, but she doesn't. She gives in to the caterpillar mind. More alone, she says, than any human being has ever been.
Bummer.
I was confused for a second. I thought more alone was like a phrase that I didn't know. But I understand now that she says the caterpillar mind is more alone. That I don't know why I couldn't parse that sentence. It is very impressive that she's like, I'm more alone, because like it's not just that I can't see, that I can't touch. It's like none of that. I've known all of that and now I don't have it. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
And there's something also to her not having a chance to, like, she doesn't have an opportunity to let her friends, the other Animorphs, even know what she's doing. Like, there's something so isolating about that. Like, it's so sudden that she really comes to grips. I mean, probably for this sort of life decision, you need a little bit more time to make the right call. But she really jumps into, I think it's like 5 minutes is all it takes for her to make this.
What if she had swerved and morphed the whale? Like, what if she was just a whale in the middle of the forest?
She's like, this will do,
like
right?
a slug.
Like, I know we said
This'll do, right?
caterpillar, but what's the difference?
I'll be a whale for...
It's like a big sea slug. I guess she would die. That's the difference. She would die.
Yeah, but not immediately.
Well, whales
they breathe
can
air.
breathe. Yeah, it would take a
they hang out
while.
for a bit. It would be
horrible, I
mean,
think. It's probably similar.
I'm thinking about the fact, so, like, this is, like, a sentence that feels weird, but, like, as marine life forms, as fish, as marine mammals, they come in dry? You know what I mean? Like they're like they have to be near water. They'd be totally dry. So
well, you know that we're basically, evolutionarily speaking, just fish that carry around our own water, right?
Right, but like so when they like if she morphed a whale or a trout or whatever, would that morph be completely dry?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, is a fish wet when it's underwater?
No. How many holes are in a straw? Don't do this to me.
I'm just saying I think the fish is wet when you take it out of the water and it gets the dry wet.
I understand this idea that you can't be wet when you're submerged, and I disagree with it deeply, but she's not submerged. She's submerged in air. And so she could be wet if there was water, but is there?
Well, in Z space, are you saying it's like the whale like in a tank in Z space?
Do they store a damp whale?
I don't know. Well, audience, tell us in the Discord if they store a damp whale.
I don't think they do.
I want to like just read the last line of this chapter.
Yeah, for sure.
I was alone. I was more alone than any human being has ever been. I abandoned myself to the caterpillar, and it began to climb the stalk of a flower it could not see. I just love that that last bit there about climbing the stalk of a flower that you can't see, which is literally true. Because
it's also figuratively what she's doing. Right.
It's sort of the ending of this book. It's like that leap of faith that she's doing here, and she doesn't know how this is going. She might think she knows how this is going to turn out, but she actually doesn't know. That I think even the instinct that the caterpillar's having here, am I right, is to cocoon, right? Is that the...
That's, I think, what's being implied.
That's where she's heading. It's heading to a leaf on a flower. It's like I'm climbing up.
It's either that or hungry. Or a little
one or the other.
Yeah.
Or sleepy.
And I've only read the very hungry
sleep?
caterpillar. I don't know what else caterpillars can do, so...
The Very Sleepy Caterpillar is a very boring book.
Oh, yeah.
Although it would be kind of cute if it was like things kept waking it up.
Yeah.
And it kept being like trying to find a quieter place. And it tries like a different leaf.
Yeah.
And finally, it finds somewhere perfect and it makes its cocoon.
The long sleep, they call it. Cocooning.
The long sleep.
Yeah. Guess. No, it's an unbelievable chapter. It's like kind of... it's like if the book, I mean, I haven't read this book, but like just hearing you guys talk about it, it's kind of incredible to think that the book ends here.
Yeah.
And if it didn't end here, like what else would the book do? I feel like the book would almost have to change perspectives.
I think in our next episode, we should improvise a new ending for the book. Something that's as beautiful as Cassie.
Something that carries on, though. Not like a rewriting
Maybe
of what
has
happens
like
here.
A transformation.
Yes.
Yeah,
right?
like a fix-it fic, if you will. Like, you know, when you take the bad ending of a show or an episode or something and you write a little tag on to fix the bad feelings it gave you.
Yeah. Or what if we release this episode and... this is the ending of the book. As we have it, this is the end of the book. And what if K.A. listens to the episode? Yeah, we have our time traveling.
And she goes back in time and finishes the book differently.
Wow. I can do better.
And then for our listeners, it would be almost like nothing even happened.
Yeah.
Like it would seem like those chapters were always there.
You saying I can do better? Like I'm just imagining seeing like a T-shirt with a quote that's just I could do better, K.A. Applegate, and I'm like that's so unfair. She's so awesome
She's
as
so
it
good.
is.
Yeah. What do you think she's doing while is she playing tennis? For some reason, I think she's playing tennis. And
right
she's
now,
like, I gotta go back.
In the middle of the night?
I gotta go back.
I gotta go back.
Not at this.
She's playing
No,
some
she's
night
on
tennis.
the West Coast, I think. Not that we give away where she lives.
Oh, yeah.
But,
We don't know her name or her last name or where she lives. We can't be sure. But
just K.A.
And Applegate's her middle name.
Yeah.
The A is actually
Applegate.
stands in for her last name. Applegate is her middle name.
K. Applegate.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to Anidorks. We'll be back soon with lots more to say.
until the Andalites return, or at least until next time. See you soon!